Hello geeks and freaks, welcome back to my book bowl challenge where I will go through a massive bowl of books and hopefully not lose my sanity in the process. Today's book review is on Nightfall by Penelope Douglas, which is the fourth main book in the Devil's Night series, and it is the fifth book in the series because there's a novella between the last book and this book. This book follows our fourth and final horseman, Will, and his love interest, Emory. Will and Emory have a very intense relationship. Their love story from the past to the present. It includes a lot of tension, anger, pain, betrayal, vulnerabilities, desires, doubts and insecurities, and fear. And it's all blending together into this mess because it's not starting off, or it's not the best love story throughout the entirety of the book. Just like the other main books in this series, we do see the past and the events that happened between the two that are important to them, that leads them to the issues and their history to the present. It starts off when they're in high school and it ends up now with them in their 20s. So in the past we do see how devoted in his own way that Will was to Emory, but he was also very pushy. He really wanted her. He wanted her to understand that he would do anything for her, be anything for her, and always be by her side. The problem with that, though, is Emory was going through a lot, and she didn't want to feel like there was another person taking her choice away or forcing her to want something or forcing her to do something or forcing her anything. Even though she knew he was safe and wouldn't hurt her, it was still, like, in her head that way. It's because of the way he went about it that I think put some tension on the relationship. And when she yells at him and tries to hurt him so that he would leave her alone, he stopped acting like he cared about her. He let people make fun of her. He slept his way through as many women as he could. I mean, he did that before her too, even though he wanted her, but he was trying to, he stopped that for her, and then once he realized that she was just going to keep pushing him away, he went right back into it. And while I'm not going to fault him for that, he's a dumb teenage boy. I feel like when he claims that he's so dedicated to her, he should have maybe not. I'm not saying he should stick around. If she's going to keep pushing him away, I would have stepped back too. But maybe not let people mock her and acted like he thought it was funny. It was just a lot of things that happened on both sides that made them both resentful. And again, in his defense, he had been chasing Emory for so long. How long is he going to keep pushing and showing he's there before it hurts too much? How much waiting and fighting for her could he do if she never showed any interest or any seriousness about it? On the flip side, we see that Emory is dealing with a lot at home. She has a lot of family drama, and her heart belongs to her grandma. She wants to keep her grandma safe. Her grandma's old and sick. It's the only person she cares about. She's going through a lot. And she was scared of the repercussions of being with Will. Even though, after a lot of denial, she realized that she really did want him and she did love him. She would kind of keep throwing caution to the wind, letting loose with him, and then something would happen that would remind her that they could never be together, that they could never be happy. She's a miserable person and he's a very happy person. And it made her, push him away. And while I can understand why the things that happened to her led to her pushing him away, I think she failed to realize just how much he really was willing to do for her, and just how much it would have helped for her to speak to him about what she was going through. But again, they were both young and in high school. It's hard to figure out what the right choice is. They both made mistakes, and it didn't help that Damon and Emory's brother were kind of in her ear, manipulating her into believing that that is not the life she's gonna have, and she is not gonna have Will. When she's forced to make a devastating choice between two people she loves, she makes a sacrifice, and that sacrifice destroys her. She felt like she had no other choice, and to choose one love, she had to let go of the other. She had to not just let go of them, but she had to hurt them. In present time, Emory wakes up in an unfamiliar location. There's only a small group of men, one of them being Will. And it's in this time where we realize that she's in Black Church. Now, Black Church is briefly mentioned throughout the series, and they kind of see it as a cautionary tale. Rich families threaten their rich sons that if they don't straighten up and act right, they're going to send them to this prison to keep them out of public eye and to stop ruining their family's reputation. And Emory ends up there. The problem is that Emory is a female. Females don't go to Black Church. And what's even more shocking is Emory finds Will at Black Church. The men there act like animals. If they're going to be treated like animals, they're going to act like animals, and they act like animals. Throughout Emory's time there, she has to try to stay safe from all of the prisoners who are dangerous in their own right. Emory doesn't know who sent her there, how she got there, why she's there, or how to get out. And she also doesn't know why Will's there or how Will gets out. Everybody loves Will, so she's not sure what the hell's going on. And facing Will right now is probably the hardest thing she has to do. She's different now. She's fled from the situation she was in. She tried to make a better life for herself, but she's always been miserable. She's always missed Will. And she knows what she did to betray him. So facing him is hard. And Will's not happy to see her. Will's angry. Will hates her. He's hurt by her actions. And throughout their time there, they keep pulling each other close, pushing each other away, taunting each other, getting close to each other, and admitting feelings. Like, it's very tense. It's very love-hate relationship. And on top of that, he's not happy that she's getting close to the alpha in the prison. He's very mad about that, and it feels like just another betrayal. But he's also kind of being a jerk and acting like he doesn't care if all of them have their way with her. So it's very, very conflicting. He feels like Emory is choosing somebody else over him again. And what Will doesn't understand, he didn't understand in the past either, Emory always feels like she's been forced to make a choice, and she just wants to stand on her own. She doesn't want to be forced between a rock and a hard place. When one of their mutual friends comes to save them, Will gets angry with Emory for hesitating to choose his side. He's also angry at the situation. He's not ready to leave Black Church, and he doesn't want his friend and Emory there. And when he is reunited with his friends, he lets everybody know the real situation that went down the day they were sent to prison and the betrayal from Emory. This obviously leads to more tension and animosity, but not just from Will to Emory, but from almost all of the friends to Emory. This has to be a big turning point for Emory because she needs to be willing to swallow her pride, listen to the criticisms, and not run away. If she's going to show Will she's serious about him and she's sorry for everything she did and she does care about him, she's got to suck it up, swallow down what he says, and work to repair the broken bond. Throughout high school, it was always Will chasing Emory, Will trying to prove to Emory he's there for her, she can trust him, he'll do anything for her. Now it's Emory's turn to show Will she's there for him. She trusts him, he can trust her, she's not going anywhere, and she'll do anything to be with him. She's not going to sacrifice him again. And this is also a turning point for Will because he's able to understand her point of view. He's able to understand her perspective. And he's able to understand that he's also partially to blame, and he shouldn't have given up so easily on her. He could have at least been her friend after she pushed him away. He could have tried to understand her situation, and he didn't, and he can see his faults there. I think when she explains why she did what she did, he's able to, as angry as he is, and as much as he tells her, like, there were still options, he still would have helped her, and that was a mistake she made, he can understand why she did it. Now, they finally get back to Thunder Bay with all their friends. Will has new friends from Black Church that also came to Thunder Bay with him. And Will is keeping some secrets and trying to put things in motion for the big conflict coming ahead that he's more aware of than anybody else is. Everyone knows there's a conflict coming, but Will has a little bit more of an insight into it. The problem is he doesn't tell anyone because he's afraid he's going to fail. He feels like he's really not needed in the group, that everyone has their own purpose in the group, but he's always been nothing in his eyes. Like, he was never seen as going anywhere, and I think Will fails to realize that he is just as important as everybody else is, but he wanted to do this on his own, and I get it. And amidst the fear of failing, he's also dealing with his conflicting emotions towards Emory, because now he's struggling to hate her. He just wants her, and he's not sure he can have her. When he's finally willing to let her go, Emory makes a proposition of a lifetime, a proposition that will change everything. They can finally start to be happy, let go of the negativity of the past, make new memories. But when Michael and Rika's wedding ends in disaster, and people betray them and take action against them, Will's friends, old and new, come together to take down the threats and take back Thunder Bay, the place that's rightfully theirs, a place where they can be themselves and not have to worry about corrupt individuals. Not that they're not corrupt, but I think that they're definitely better than the people they're facing against. In the end, will everybody be happy? I mean, these books are known to have a pretty good happy ending, but there's still damage done between the two characters. And will that cause strain in their relationship, or are they able to let it go? And what do they lose? I mean, that happiness comes at a price. They definitely will lose something. So what do they lose to get their happiness? Is it worth it? I think it's worth it, but maybe you should read it to see if you think it's worth it as well. If you're interested in dark romance, mysteries, enemies to lovers, along with some incredibly spicy scenes that may leave you blushing, this book might be for you. I suggest it. I suggest the entire series. Now, as I've stated in the past reviews, her books do start out kind of slow because there's too much information to take in. I did take longer than I would have liked for this book just because I had a lot going on and I wasn't reading for chunks of, like, for days at a time. But I would say that despite this being the biggest book, it didn't feel as slow as the previous books. And I think that's because, I mean, you immediately start with Emory waking up in Black Church. So now you have all this mystery and like this like, yes, there's still questions, yes, but there's so much action right from the beginning rather than like that lull and then information and confusion. So yeah, I felt like it went a little faster. I feel like the mystery of how Will and Emory ended up in Black Church really drew me in. And I kind of like the little mysteries that they would all talk about, the little cautionary tales, the little like legends that they had all over the town that they weren't sure if they were real, and trying to like figure it out along the way if those were real too. So those were really nice. I also like that Emory and Damon had a kind of bonding between them and like a connection that was not intentional, and it lasted from high school to present. Not consistently. I mean, it wasn't like they tried to be friends or anything. It was just they bonded over something, and then he kind of defended her when Will and the others blew up on her for her actions. Damon did defend her. So there's a little bond there, so I like that. And I really love the humor that happens once all of them get together again. So like they're making jokes about things that happen throughout the series, and I do like that a lot. I thought it was really funny. I was laughing while reading it. My husband's like, "Why are you laughing?" And I would just tell him, like, reading passages. So yeah, I got to enjoy that. I think my favorite scene, there's a lot that I really enjoyed, but I think my favorite scene is when Will and Emory's brother come to the final blows in the end of the book. And Will has to like overcome a lot in this scene. He has to overcome his fears, his hopelessness, his trauma, and his despair while fighting for his life because he's like in danger. So he has to fight for his life, save himself, go through all these things in his head to fight to get back to Emory. And I thought that was actually really, really powerful and really emotional. And reading it from his perspective is what makes it so emotional. Overall, I really like this book. And I have one last novella in the series before I'm completely done. I don't know what the novella is about, but I'm excited to see. There's something that happened in the end of this book where Michael punishes one of the people that were against them, and I wonder if we get to see a little bit more of that in the next book, but I have no idea, so we'll see. And again, I also love that like Will was very smitten with Emory from the very beginning. It was very much puppy love, and yes, he made a lot of mistakes along the way, but a lot of puppy love. I feel like all of them had this puppy love towards this one girl, even though they all slept with a lot of women. They definitely had that puppy love, that devotion that they tried to deny or tried to let go of, and it was always there. While I did not agree with his actions, I still think he's so adorable. He's got a very cute and romantic side to him, but he's also like goofy and charming. And this book got to show him doing something for himself and his friends that made him feel worthy, even though he didn't need to do something to feel worthy. He was already worthy, but it was a good rite of passage for him. Out of all of the horsemen and their love interests, I think my favorite one is Kai, and my favorite female is Winter. And my favorite couple is Damon and Winter. Don't get me wrong, I love Will. Absolutely adore him, but Kai, Damon, and Will are my top three. Michael is at the bottom. Not because I don't like Michael, I just didn't like him as much, but it's very hard to choose between the other three for absolute favorite because they all had really charming qualities about them. But Damon and Winter, I did like their romance a lot more. So hard decision, but a decision I made, and I will stick by it. I suggest you guys read the series and let me know what you think. Comment your thoughts below if you've read it, if you want to read it, if you have any questions. I'm here to listen. Anyway, I am done with my book review and I will see you guys in the next one. Like the video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already to show your support, and hit that notification bell to be informed every time I post a new video. As of right now, I am starting a challenge that I will be putting on my YouTube Shorts where I will be reading a page in a book for every new subscriber I get. So subscribe to my channel, watch me suffer to get all these pages read on top of my reading challenge and my book bowl challenge, and watch me go a little crazy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.